After Britain attack, Trump unleashes a Twitter storm. Washington, President Trump assailed political correctness, gun control supporters and the mayor of London on Sunday, arguing that the world needed to be more serious about fighting terrorism a day after 7 people were killed and dozens more wounded in the latest attack in Britain. "We must stop being politically correct and get down to the business of security for our people," he wrote on Twitter. "If we don't get smart, it will only get worse." Mr. Trump targeted Saudi. At least 7 dead and 48 wounded in terror attack, and Mayor of London says there is no reason to be alarmed. Mr. Trump wrote. The president's post mischaracterized what Mr. Khan said about the attack. During an interview shown on the BBC, the mayor said he was appalled and furious that these cowardly terrorists would target innocent civilians and vowed that, "We will never let them win, nor will we allow them to cower our city." He went on to say that residents should not worry as they encounter more police officers patrolling the streets. Londoners will see an increased police presence today and over the course of the next few days, Mr. Khan said. No reason to be alarmed. One of the things, the police, all of us need to do, is make sure we are as safe as we possibly can be. I'm reassured that we are one of the safest global cities in the world. If not the safest global city in the world, but we always evolve and review ways to make sure that we remain as safe as we possibly can. Mr. Khan's office later decided he has more important things to do than respond to Donald Trump's ill-informed tweet that deliberately takes out of context his remarks urging Londoners not to be alarmed when they saw more police, including armed officers, on the streets, a spokesman for the mayor said in a statement. A top aide to Mr. Trump added to the criticism of the mayor. Dan Scavino, the president's director of social media, posted a message referring to Mr. Khan's criticism of Mr. Trump a year ago for his ignorant view of Muslims. On Saturday night and Sunday morning, in the hours after the attack, Mr. Trump sought to build support for his proposed travel ban on visitors from select Muslim-majority countries, which has been blocked by American courts, and argued that gun control was pointless since terrorists in this case used other weapons. "Do you notice we are not having a gun debate right now?" he wrote on Sunday morning. "That's because they used knives in a truck." On Saturday night, he wrote, "We need the courts to give us back our rights. We need the travel ban as an extra level of safety." Gun control advocates quickly noted that the casualty toll might have been much higher had the attackers had access to high-powered firearms. Britain has some of the world's strictest regulations on private gun ownership. Mr. Trump telephoned the White House said in a statement that the president had praised the heroic response of police and other emergency medical workers and offered the full support of the United States government in investigating and bringing those responsible for these heinous acts to justice. It was not the first time a member of the Trump family attacked Mr. Khan, the first Muslim mayor of any major Western capital. In March, after a terrorist attack in London, Donald Trump Jr., the president's son, posted a link to an article in Britain's independent newspaper from the previous September quoting Mr. Khan about terrorism. "You have to be kidding me. Terror attacks are part of living in big city," says London Mayor Sadiq Khan, the younger Mr. Trump wrote at the time. Mr. Trump's tweet left the impression that Mr. Khan was minimizing the importance of terrorist attacks. But in fact, he was saying that terrorism was a reality that a big city needed to be prepared to prevent and respond to vigorously. Part and parcel of living in a great global city is you've got to be prepared for these things, you've got to be vigilant, you've got to support the police doing an incredibly hard job, Mr. Khan said. That means being vigilant, having a police force that is in touch with communities, it means the security services being ready, but it also means exchanging ideas and best practice, Mr. Khan was quoted saying. Asked later during a television interview about the president's son, Mr. Khan dismissed the tweet. "I'm not going to respond to a tweet from Donald Trump Jr., he said on CNN. "I've been doing far more important things over the last 24 hours.